What's up, everybody?
Hey, 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 hey.
Hello.
We're out here once again.
Ladies and gentlemen. Let me turn the volume down on my phone.
Brought his phone in.
This is the Producer Lounge, brought to you by Always 400. We're here yet another Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're here to hang out with you, and we're here to talk about the nerdiest possible music production things we could possibly talk about. Basically,
Preach.
let's get in there. Let's
Yep.
get in there deep.
We will try our best to get nerdy.
Yeah, and this week, we got a special guest, Mr. Kyle Voyager.
Hey.
Let's go.
Kyle,
He's here.
let's go.
Hello.
Voyager.
Hello, everyone.
Very, very, very dope. Dope
Yeah.
beat maker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friend.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Old friend at this
Yeah.
point, feels like.
I know.
Yeah.
Getting
It's been
there.
so long.
Yeah, many years. Yeah, he was on 2 weeks ago, and the mixer died.
Yep.
So
Broke
I don't
the
know
mixer.
if that's a blooper video or anything. But
Yeah.
it might be. I don't know. Could be.
It's
Yeah.
floating around. Excuse my absence. We had a little bit of a sound floor issue.
Is
Literally,
this
there
your
was
first official
fan.
one with
Yeah,
us,
a
or
fan.
your
Yeah.
second?
This is not counting 2 weeks ago. This is my first
Yeah,
official.
mine is that one.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. I was here for a practice one, and
Yeah.
now I'm here for the real deal.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
everyone.
Well, then I guess it's a perfect opportunity. Do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about yourself? How long you been making music? What kind of music you make?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Right. I know. This is the ultimate test.
See if
This is
we
one the
make
mixer
it
broke
through
last
it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go.
So I am making music under the name Voyager. Actual name's Kyle. I've been making music like eight and a half years now. Been just making electronic music the whole time. Played guitar and stuff a little bit before that when I was younger, but didn't get too into it. Although I picked up guitar recently again, I want to use it in the electronic domain a bit because so the type of music I make is very sound design focused, and a lot of influence from, like, I guess it's bass music, a lot of halftime, drum and bass influence.
Kyle makes dope, wild shit.
Thanks.
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
true.
Yeah, it's pretty out there.
Yeah. I try to.
Lots of fun noises.
Yeah, I think I'm drawn to. I think I love hearing new stuff, and so, like, there's so many people making awesome music out there, and so I feel compelled to just, like, try and make stuff that is, like, it's like new stuff or like different stuff, because it's like, all right, if this person made this album and it's sick, then I don't want to make the same exact kind of thing. I want to do something more experimental and different.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to get too experimental. I like to make it a little bit approachable too.
You gotta find
It's
the
kind of a
balance,
tricky
right?
line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like, I like something that you can, like, hum along to, but also you're like, what the heck is that?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's the kind of stuff I make. Yeah, finishing up some tracks right now.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Yeah, unreleased. We'll see where they go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's me in a small nutshell, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You. I feel like you finished, like, quite a few tracks recently.
I did. Yeah,
What happened?
what happened was
How'd that happen?
I work so I work full time as, like, an office job. I'm like a data guy in my day job.
You're not just, like, touring.
Yeah, you know, I
Right.
Not
gotta jump on a plane to Australia after this. No, so I day job. I've been working from home since, like, March 2020, and then we were going back to the office pretty much full time on, like, the beginning of July. And so the week before that, I kind of freaked out because I'm like, I should have been spending more time on music while I have this extra time from, like, not commuting and all this stuff. And so I just kind of, like, went crazy and just spent, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours a day, like wrapping up a bunch of songs that were like 90% there.
Yeah, you
Um,
just got into like a good groove of it.
Yeah, and I was
Had
like,
a little motivation.
right, yeah, I was like, I see the end of this time that I kind of wasted. I could have spent a lot more time making music, but
we all feel you.
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, but at least at that last moment, I was like, all right, I need to have something, because I mean, some of these projects, I don't know about you guys, but I have some songs that, like some of these songs that I've just wrapped up. They're like, I think the oldest one is probably 2.5 years old when I
Damn.
started it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Damn.
like
shit.
it's some of, like, yeah, it's crazy how long I'll sit on a project sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah,
Sometimes they just don't want to go.
Right?
You know, you're just
Yeah.
like you put it away, and then one day you just have to go look at it, and you're like,
right.
let me fiddle with it a little bit
Let
more.
me just see what I can do.
Maybe if
Yeah.
I remix it with my new brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
My
Yeah.
ears are better now, so like if I remix it now.
Yeah.
Maybe
one
I'll get
thing
lucky.
I do a lot, I don't know about you guys, is I'll find myself, I'm like writing a new song but still in the old song project. Like it's like a totally new idea and it doesn't really
okay.
fit with the old song, and I'm trying to make like a second drop, but it's just like way too different and it should just be a different song.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have done that.
yeah,
So
I think
many times.
yeah, I do that a lot. So that's another thing I was focusing on with these tracks is like just think about like what is this song saying? Like what's the idea here? And then just like sticking to that and
Yeah.
trying to make it a
Nail
little
it to the
bit
ground.
yeah,
Mhm.
a little bit of variety to make it cool, but like just like not trying to make a like a 15-minute voyage of a song.
Hey.
Oh, hey. But I think that actually would be cool also to make like I'd love to make one of
For
those
sure.
albums that's like it's like a 45-minute
a
album
soundtrack.
and each song like flows into the next song, so
Mm.
you could just play it as one giant song.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be
Right.
so cool.
That would be cool, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but first I need to just finish my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Yeah, I see that as a one-day scenario.
One day.
like comedians when they're coming up, they're writing jokes until they can like do an hour of jokes. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's like initially that's the goal. Let me get an hour
of jokes.
that I can do that is really good, and then I feel like they end up at some point being like, I'm gonna do an hour about like a specific thing or whatever. That's when they like go like deeper.
You get a little more like
Yeah.
conceptual with it.
Yeah, once they're like
Right.
later in their
Yeah.
process or whatever as an artist.
Yeah.
Like right now is build the like building blocks, like the learn all the rules
Mm-hmm.
and learn ways to break the rules so that you can just like do anything that you want to do
Mm-hmm.
Right.
later.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Totally.
it's easier too.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like right now, if I tried to make like an epic fucking, like I have a hard enough time making a 3-minute thing.
Right.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah. Right. I think finishing a track in itself is such a skill set, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like knowing when to call it done and when to like cut yourself off.
Oh yeah.
That's really hard for me to learn. I think that's still one of my weak points, I think. And I don't put out a ton of music because of that, because I just don't know when to call it quits. No.
And there never really is like a point where it's like, oh, this is the spot where like generally people go and they call it quits, you know? Like I've heard every artist say like you just kind of you either hit the deadline or you just give up on the track, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
you either have to send it into your label and be like, here's the finished project, I guess, or you just give up and you're like, yeah, it's as good as I don't care anymore. I'm going to go make a house track or go make a wub track or, you know. You
Yeah.
just get bored or something.
Totally.
Yeah. It's hard though. There's no right answer.
Yeah.
And it takes time, you know, like I've only been doing it for like 4 years and I've heard people at like 8 years say it like you have and like where these guys are. And even John, who's been doing it for like 17 years or something stupid, is still just like, yeah, I could work on a track forever, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Totally. Yeah. It's I don't know. I don't think that urge ever goes away. You just get better at like managing it, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That kind of made me think about
If you learn to manage it.
if
If,
you learn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some people do, some people don't.
Boone.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna spend 27
Poon.
years on a track. Poon, if you're listening.
I love you, Poon.
Yeah.
You know that.
Wow.
Yeah. He makes them count.
The insideness of that is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Right. Yeah.
Out
no,
of
and it's
context.
Out of
that
context.
really is weird.
Yeah. That's true.
It's y'all have met Poon.
Yep.
Fine.
It's true.
This is
You
a
guys have
person.
Atrix.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the show a couple
Inner
times.
enemy.
Inner
No.
enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there you
right.
go.
He's been on the shows both,
Yeah.
technically, but the first one was not aired. Anyways,
So yeah, that was making me think about like, you know how everybody in their first like kind of 3 years and even like whatever point always wants to be like the feedback bro, and it's like, yo, I just want your opinion because I'm hyped on this thing. Like, give me any insight. You know, it's like at a certain point you have to just be the artist and like be the creator of it and like understand like what your track potentially needs. You know, and like you have to be the deciding factor at the end of the day. And of course, you know, asking people about it is a good thing. But it's the same thing as like, when do you call a track? You never really know. You have to be the dude who's creating the track and just you got to call it at a certain point, you know.
Yeah.
right.
I
And-
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Similar vein, I think it's also really important to know when not to take someone's feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you
Yes.
you ask for feedback and then they say something, and I think it takes experience to be like, you know what? No, that's not what this song's about. Like
Mhm.
that's a cool idea, but that's not what fits into this idea
Mhm.
because it's your song ultimately.
Right.
And they could just be
Yeah.
putting like their own bias in.
Right.
Like
Right.
if you ask a dubstep dude feedback on your reggae track, like he's gonna be like, "Oh, heavier snare, fucking make it," or you know, whatever
Right.
A and B kind of thing would be. but,
Although
like,
at least those two genres are close.
they are very close.
They're
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why you would be showing him.
I guess in a way, yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah. But
Yeah, feedback is a whole topic
It's
in and of
arbitrary.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
That is like one of the wildest things. Oh, hey, let's go.
Hey, welcome back.
Who was that?
hey.
Welcome back.
Divyanish Raghuvanishi.
Oh, okay.
Please
Maybe
tell
it
me I
was on
pronounced
a-
that right.
Yeah.
sure.
Longest
Oh,
Twitch
you
name I've
definitely
ever
pronounced
seen.
it.
Pretty
I
sure
love
that's-
it.
100% on.
Maybe a feedback stream person.
Were you on one of our
Speaking
feedback
of
streams?
feedback.
It
Yeah,
seems
speaking
vaguely
of
familiar.
feedback, literally as we're talking about it.
I know, right?
The devil.
Synchronicity.
Yeah, there's so much drama around feedback in general.
Mhm.
Like it is hard to take feedback a lot of times.
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
times when people give you feedback, like I at least for me, I will have a instant reaction of like, wait, no, but this
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
yeah, like I will have like such a reaction.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, no, but it's supposed to feel like, and then, like I did that to you the last time I sent you a track, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
I always do that shit.
Yeah.
And then later I'm like, yeah, you know what? I need to fucking mess with that thing.
Yeah, they were right. I
It
see
always
now.
comes around anyway.
Yeah.
That track specifically, that was like,
Yeah.
I changed into this studio and all of a sudden, like, I had like a completely different, like, sub accuracy,
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to change a bunch of things.
Mm.
like,
Right.
immediately.
Everything's reacting differently.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
No,
What the
okay.
hell?
This is bad. I need
Right.
to
Yeah.
fix these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's especially hard to take feedback from someone that you like look up to musically.
Oh, okay.
Like I recently do you know Woolg? WOULG.
No.
He
No,
makes
don't.
really cool experimental sound design focused
Okay.
stuff.
Oh, cool.
And I watched some stuff on his YouTube, and I kind of made a track out of it, and it was a really weird track. It's also unreleased, and I was like, I don't know what to think of this. It's super weird, and so I was thinking of sending it to him for feedback because he has feedbacks I think on Twitch every Saturday, and I like tuned in one time. And I was just like watching him give other people feedback, and I chickened out. I was like, I don't want to.
really?
I don't want him to hear
it's
my
so-
thing.
It could be nerve wracking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I still haven't sent it to him. Maybe I will someday.
At
But
some point.
yeah, I think it's that's a hard part about music. I think creativity in general. I think it takes a lot of
Oh, it's
vulnerability.
way harder than
Does,
people
yeah.
think.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like you're pouring your heart into this thing, or at least like typically I'd imagine if you're gonna show someone a song for feedback, it's like something you poured your heart into, and you're like, this is my little baby, and I love it. So like,
And
don't.
they're about to slit its throat.
Yeah, they're gonna
Yeah.
slit his throat,
Right.
and throw it
Yeah.
into the garbage
Yeah.
can.
Oh, yeah, and they
Totally.
usually do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
This guy's wondering about sound design.
Got
Yeah.
a question
I'm down
here.
with that topic.
Says,
Man.
how did you guys learn sound design?
Oh,
So,
Thank you.
man, it's been a
yeah,
been a
great question.
journey.
Yeah.
Mm.
How did you learn sound design, Kyle?
It was a 3-step process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
3
opened
easy
the door,
steps.
and then I opened.
Hey.
If you buy
like
our
that
book,
mouse?
you'll learn in 5 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, when I first started making music, electronic music, this is super boring, but I use Ableton. And so I just read like 3/4 of the Ableton manual because
Nice.
I opened
Did you
it up.
really? You were a
I
manual
did.
guy?
Yeah, I read it before bed
Oh,
for like
look at
for like a
you.
month or two.
I love you
Grinded
even
the
more.
manual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
Please
you more.
do that for Bitwig and tell me things.
yeah, maybe we'll see.
I mean, the Bibig manual, like it, is pretty nice.
Yeah.
actually, and you can get to it really easily. It's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, but
Anyways.
reading the manual is like underrated. I think. Like, I mean,
Agreed.
people mention it, but like it's so important. Like I tried making music before that, and I just like I think I spent like 2 hours just messing around in Ableton. I couldn't make any sound happen,
It's
Yep.
so hard.
and so I
Yep.
was like, okay, I just need to.
when you have no
read.
idea about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
It's
hard.
It's the most intimidating thing on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like-
So I mean, I started with that just to know what the heck I'm doing, and then to get more into sound design, literally just like watching a lot of YouTube tutorials and stuff, and then tinkering around myself. And that second part is super important because I think you get other people's ideas from watching YouTube tutorials or like Patreon stuff now. Back when I was doing it, there was like Mr. Bill and like Seamless.
Yep.
Right.
And that was like the only quality
Yeah.
And
shit out there.
Shadowwick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadowik.
Sadowik.
Productions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Sedgwick.
it was those ones.
Yeah.
That
Those
was it.
were like
Shout
the
out
three.
Sedgwick, still fucking rocking
Shout
it.
out
Yeah.
with his camera way up
G.
high.
Yeah, right.
100% G, dude. And like all
Oh,
his
yeah.
tapestries and shit. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that guy.
His
Great.
was he has a really beginner friendly videos too. I really
Yeah.
liked him in
He-
the early days.
I watched a video of his that was like, I remember it being like 2 hours long, but it's every Ableton native instrument explained.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
and he like goes through the compressor, saturator, but it's like Ableton 8 or 9, I want to say. It was like back when I first
I think
started.
it was 8.
I watched that shit for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it was
Yeah.
8. But yeah, that was that helped so much because I was so confused.
Yeah, because he just sits there and he's like, well,
And
you
so
take this.
Yeah.
This knob literally controls this.
yeah, and
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
you would usually use this for this kind of thing, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you,
Yeah.
oh, thank you
Great.
so much.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a lot of like tutorials, a lot of reading, honestly. Like there was times where I remember when I wanted to like I knew how to do subtractive synthesis and wavetable synthesis on Massive, the original Massive. That was like the big synth when I was learning sound design for the first time. And then and once I felt like I understood that well enough, I saw Noisia uses FM8 a lot, and so I was like, "Oh fuck, I have to learn FM8."
You're like,
'cause
now I need
that's-
that one.
That
yeah.
music is sick.
Yeah.
And so I like would just Google like what is FM synthesis and just like read up about it and then watch more tutorials, read more manuals, and then tinker around myself just to see like if I move this thing, it sounds like this. If I move that, it sounds like that. And because I read the manuals, I kind of understand why it's
Right,
doing that
right.
stuff rather than just saying like, ooh, this is the metallic sounding button or whatever.
Right.
You get
Yeah.
an idea of why it's happening. So just doing that like
That is,
over and
like,
over.
The main thing about doing sound design
Yeah,
is you
that
have
is-
to understand all the elements that you're dealing with
Yeah.
so that you can make a cool choice instead of like
Right.
like you're not
And
going
a
to
smart
know
choice.
about like
Yeah.
you need to know about Haas effect and you know
And
how
the
you would push
phasing.
things backwards or forwards in the mix
Sure,
or like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Stereo field is like
phasing.
detune in unison kind of thing.
Right.
How clipping works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
so many things.
So
yeah.
many little tiny things.
Right.
It's literally the thing.
Yeah.
that we all do all the time.
Sound designing is like
So,
one half.
I'll
of
let you know
music
when I
making.
learn.
Right.
Yeah.
The other half is mixing. Those are the only
Right.
two halves of music making.
Yeah.
Mixing.
That's it. That's all there is. Like
Yeah, you're just
arrangement
making
is
noises
like
and mixing them.
arrangement is like pulling a cool track you like and arrange it like that one. Make some creative.
Arranging is pretty easy.
Yeah, make some creative choices here and there.
No,
Or-
I would still say like arrangement and songwriting are a valuable
Yeah,
third.
no,
Totally.
There's like there's the
definitely.
Trinity.
Yeah,
They,
of
they-
course.
they definitely are. I just like
Yeah.
making the joke.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have
It's
to.
funner to
There's-
just talk shit on them.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah, that's
tracks
fair.
where people are like, "Man, I like the way it flows and everything." You're like, "Yeah," because I ripped off like an EDM track that has like
Yeah.
a super simple structure that works great
Yeah.
every time,
Right.
and it works for DJing.
Right. Yeah, I used to want to throw out the typical song structure so much for the first few years I was making music. Like I'd be like,
Always.
no, I'm
Always.
gonna have like
Always.
A B A C D
Dude.
A and like just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever for the order.
I remember
And
me and my buddy had sketchbooks where we would draw out song structure.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, so the energy rises, and then it's going to plateau, and then it's going to dip. Right at that dip, we get a boost, and it changes, and then it
Yeah.
starts going into D.
Let's
All right, now D is the
go.
big energy of the track, and then it's going to dip back down, but then just crescendo
right
towards E,
I did the
and then
same
it
thing.
ends, and then the song just ends.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just crazy shit like that.
Yeah. Which is I think that's super cool to
Yeah,
make that
no,
kind of stuff,
it's
but
fun.
it's not easy to make either.
No.
It's like it's way easier to start like, okay, I'm just gonna do your typical intro, build, drop, breakdown, build, drop, and you know.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's not hard because it's hard to do. It's hard because it's not familiar. So
Yeah,
it's hard to make
it's less
it
common.
worth you listening to it.
Right.
Because you're
Right.
like, okay, all right, well, all right,
Let
we're gonna go
alone
for the
make it.
epic thing now. Like, I don't
Right.
want to listen to this. Like, give me the fucking Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
It is like so important to think about it in that way though, where it's like here's like a good like level point and then you build into B section and then build into D and drop down. Like it's good to think about that in the beginning, but like at a certain point it's something that we all understand now that
Right. You,
just
kind
have
of
that in the back of your
subconsciously,
head.
you're
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah, right. And that's where like the beauty, like I guarantee you the tracks that you were referencing at that time, they weren't thinking about, oh, now this section has to blah blah blah. And maybe they were to a degree, but really it was just like instinct, you know, something that comes over time.
A lot of the
just
time,
like
yeah.
when you cut your track off and when you ask for
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
Or you pulled in, like I like to pull in just like a completely random track and just copy the arrangement. Like, don't
Yeah.
even be interested in the track for reference purposes other than just the arrangement, just
Yeah.
to have a free little arrangement
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah.
So-
just spread it out.
Yeah.
We have another question here.
Oh, yeah.
Div
Oh,
asks,
wow.
what genre do you people make? Comma. I don't have your Spotify/SoundCloud links.
Yeah. Also, about section is empty. We got to fill that up. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, I saw that.
It's time. You're right.
I did see that.
We've been waiting for a
So-
certain point in our milestone, and I think it's about that time.
Someone actually asked for it, so we should probably put it on there.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
Yeah, that's kind of when we were waiting for it.
Hilarious.
So you can find some lo-fi under this name.
Yep. That's some great lo-fi.
True.
Mm. That's these guys.
I mean, I'm
Oh.
just calmer than you are.
You're so calm
all,
right now.
all lowercase.
Look at how calm this dude is right now. He's calmer than you are.
I'm so
That-
calm right now, guys.
Yeah.
I need more water, honestly.
That's the name.
You can
of
take a
this
sec while we
music.
explain our genres. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So basically, we all kind of experiment with a lot of different genres for sure.
Music.
I like to make personally my
Oh.
strong suit is a
Oh,
lot of like
okay.
really big epic bass music stuff and emotional like orchestral stuff. I'm trying to find a good balance
yeah.
of that, but
I guess while he's
also
talking.
I'm also trying to find a good balance of like the experimental left field stuff. Like a huge inspiration for me is thinking about like what is the music going to be in 20 years and 60 years and like
Yeah.
what are like the new things and like the new creative outputs going to be, like how do we push the threshold? And me and Kyle are both like that. We're all like that for sure, but like that's something that is super near and dear to my heart that I try and like go for.
Yeah.
Do you have a SoundCloud with all this stuff?
SoundCloud is just the tag or whatever is Voyage-R.
Voyager music.
Voyager _music is my Instagram. But that's what my SoundCloud is. I don't have them the same.
Okay.
I'm not good at marketing, I guess.
Yeah.
But
It's a weird thing, right?
yeah.
And then I'm Asnadel. This is CTYA, aka Calmer Than You Are. These two together are Mona Lisa Hamilton.
And I don't have anything out besides Mona right now.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to get
Slow.
some stuff
I
out.
know.
I've heard your stuff.
Yeah, we've all heard his stuff.
I
It's
I mean,
already-
our main thing is Party B.
Yeah, our main thing is
Yeah.
Party B, which doesn't exist yet. You can find us on Instagram, though.
Mhm.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
follow that.
Party B official.
Party B official.
Party with an I.
Yeah, so we make anything from house to dubstep to glitch hop to lo-fi,
We make it all.
trap music. Yeah, fucking melodic trap. I make ambient shit.
I make like songwriter shit.
So yeah, he makes like exactly.
Yeah, you make a huge
Songwriter,
variety of
indie.
stuff, actually.
make techno.
David.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
He's a good time.
Yeah.
mm.
Caleb makes some dope techno.
Es
Mhm.
bueno.
He's the techno king of the group for sure.
Es
Yeah.
bueno.
I made some techno though
It's true. You did make some
this
techno.
weekend.
It's pretty
Oh,
sick.
it's- yeah, I'll show it to you.
It's a personal
I got a
obsession.
nice little.
Kanye West.
I got a DMB horn in
God
there.
damn it.
So-
That's impressive. It might get very boring too, making the same stuff.
Dude, yeah.
I agree with
fuck
that.
shit.
Does.
Yeah, it's true.
I
why
I don't do it.
Yeah, that's why we have a lo-fi
None of us
project.
do it. Yeah, that's why we all make
Yeah.
everything.
And
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, even my stuff. I want to branch out with my stuff more because I mean, my stuff is fairly experimental, but it's also like I always end up just doing like halftime beats type stuff. And I really
Yeah.
want to, I don't know, just do other stuff. And I used to make like drum and bass. My first song ever was a house song.
Hell
Oh,
I just-
really?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
minimal house song. It's
I
like
think that
really-
might be mine too.
really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Nice.
it's a
It's a pretty
beginner
good start
friendly
point.
genre.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We've talked about before how like
Yeah.
every producer ends up making like house or dance music at some point
Or wants to.
or wants to. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I start to see it more and more.
Sure, just because house is so groovy. You can have a
So
loop going,
groovy.
and if it's good, you could literally listen to it for like 20 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, no, it's good though.
Yeah.
It's hypnotizing, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I do
It's
get
pretty fun.
one thing I want to try doing. I've been listening to, I think I've told you guys this before. I've been listening to a ton of video game soundtrack music.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Oh,
been
sick. Yeah.
loving Nobu Uematsu.
Okay.
He's the composer for a lot of the games in the Final Fantasy series, if you know that video game series.
Oh, sick.
And he's just got like the catchiest melodies and stuff, and I love it. And I really want to try and take those like I don't know, like fun melodies and stuff, and just like insert it into my more kind of like gritty experimental bassy stuff. I feel like it
Fuck
could be a really
yeah.
cool
Yeah, that could be fun.
juxtaposition.
That'd be
Should do
super
that.
fun.
I haven't made it work yet, but
Yeah, it's.
I'm
I can see
trying.
it being hard.
Yeah.
yeah,
It would probably take a
I
minute
just,
to dial in.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just did an experiment, kind of similar, trying to like mash two things
Yeah.
together. I took big room,
Oh yeah.
like circa 2012, and mashing it up with like tech house. So it's like tech room or something.
It's
and
like small room.
it's like small room, dark room.
Dark room.
Dark
Or
room.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's turning out okay. Like it's
Yeah,
kind
it
of got a
sounds
cool
cool.
little switch in it,
Mhm.
but
Oh
it's
yeah.
fucking hard to like listen to because it's just big room, just fucking so
Yeah.
loud and obnoxious the whole time.
Yeah.
But
That is a bummer about making an obnoxious track. You're
Yeah.
like, it's supposed to be obnoxious, but it's really annoying to make right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got to listen to the obnoxiousness over and over again.
Yeah. After
Right.
like 20 or 30 minutes of listening
Oh
to it
my
over and over, you're just like,
God.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah. Actually, on that subject, are you guys ever sick of your own music by the time you finish it?
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Every
A
time.
lot of times.
Yeah, I think every single song I've made, by the time I'm done with it, I'm like, I don't
even
actually
wanna
want to
listen
listen
to
to
it.
it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
printed a dubstep track the other day, and I don't even care how it sounds. Like I printed it with a bunch of updates, and I don't care. I have not listened to it
Just-
at all yet.
Head down in this next track.
Which
Yep.
not only that, but I was head down in transition into Bitwig. So I finished that track on Ableton. That's the last one I did. And then I switched, and I was like, I don't.
Mhm.
If I listen to it,
Yeah.
and if there's something I want to fix, I'm not going to want to go to fix it.
Mhm.
So there's no
Right.
point. It's
done.
like whatever. It's there.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's sick. It works.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
work, right?
Yeah, it'll slay.
Yeah. That's why I really like Il Gates' kind of like methodology thing where it's like don't spend more than 20 hours on a track because that's where you just start to go fucking crazy in your own head after hearing it a million times forward and back, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty broad stroke, but I understand the methodology 100%.
Yeah, like conceptually, there's like an idea there that could
like
be beneficial.
maybe have a timer, and once you hit 20 hours, like really think about like how far you are on the track. Like if you're still haven't even found the character, then it's like might keep the drums and X-nay everything else.
Why would you work on it past that point? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It doesn't have character after 20 hours. You
That-
should just try
polishing
again.
stems for other projects at that point.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or keep the drums.
Right.
That's always a good option.
I do that all
unless
the
your
fucking
drums
time.
sucked.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a
Not
case.
an option. That is not an option. The track does not get past getting to the music group until the drums are dope. Drums have to be dope.
Yeah.
I will spend way too much time. I'll spend 10 hours on drums. Easy.
Yeah, I spent so much time on drums too.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
right out of the gate without any context. It's just drum beat. Just
Yeah. How do I
no,
get a
it's got to
sick
sound
groove going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and making it sound fat and full and look all good in the scope and
Yeah.
be hitting everything and
I mean,
some good drums, dude.
in like electronic music and dance music, I think drums are definitely the most important component, I think.
Yeah.
When it comes to like dance floor stuff or
Yeah,
like
yeah, they're
like
pretty fucking
electronic
important.
stuff. Like, because it's
Such a
all just so
foundation.
groove based and they're so loud. If you look at mix downs of like rock music compared to like, I don't know, dubstep, like the drums are just like so much more prominent.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
But,
think that's
yeah.
maybe a part of what's up?
You
New
released
EP.
a new EP, did you there as an Adele?
Oh, I
yeah.
did indeed. Yeah. I did. Yeah. It's cool. It's really personal, and it's not the greatest thing by any means, but like I poured my heart into it, and it's like a weird vibe that I imagine in 10 years I'm gonna master and be really, really in tune with. But like this is the first start of whatever that kind of vibe for
Cool.
that thing is. Yeah, and I'm excited. Yeah.
I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I love that you like poured your heart into it. It means a lot to you. Like,
Yeah.
that's the most important part for
And
me
it-
with music.
And I also like the fact that you like released it.
They're also
Yeah,
good.
right. That's like
It's
They're
like-
good tunes.
Yeah, and the fact that
thank
like
you.
now you
Hell yeah.
can't
They are.
you can't touch
Fuck
them.
yeah.
You're forced.
I know,
Yeah.
Your
right?
hands are tied. They
Yeah.
are they are no longer your songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I rarely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing that is like fucking like I would rather not finish the track a lot of the times than like see it through and end up just like being like, no, I'll release it.
Right.
So I'll just be like,
Yeah.
it feels
next round will be
good.
better.
It feels really
Yeah.
good, and it's
Yeah.
also really scary though, because like
Sure.
as we all know, it's like I've gone back and listened through the tracks and been like, oh my god, that one kick just like did a DC offset, and like no one's gonna notice, but I heard the little click or like
Right.
some weird thing where something
Right.
phases, and I'm like, no. But it's like the idea, something me and Kyle have talked about before after one of these tutorials we watched with Chi. I have a sticky note on my desk that says character over perfection. And I really fuck with that because it's like at the end of the day, it's like it's the idea that matters and the character put into it, not the fucking mix down and how loud I got it and how much my kick slammed you in the side of the face or whatever.
Yeah,
you
how
know?
crispy
Right.
clear the whatever
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's another
But
thing.
that is character.
It is
I
character
mean,
in a
that
way.
can
Yeah,
be the character of
no,
the
you're
track,
totally
yeah.
right. You're totally right. It's all subjective.
I mean, we're all striving for these things that we say.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
ignore.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't
totally.
ignore them. Just
Yeah.
it literally is. You get better at making things sound really, really clear the more you do it. So you have to just keep making shit.
Right.
And you just make the coolest shit you can in the moment and don't overly think about it and try and like make it into the next hit single because
Yeah.
it just won't be.
Oh,
You
it's
just-
the fucking weirdest thing. to
I've
get your
been-
head out
I've
of
been
that.
in that
Mhm.
head.
Oh,
Oh,
god,
And I was
right?
like, this next one's gonna be a fucking hit, man.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
make me, and it's like, no, dude, it's not. It's really
Yeah,
not. You.
This is gonna be the one.
This is gonna be the one for 10 more years while you're making fucking all the things.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to do this
Yeah. That
because it's
mindset
just
is-
as complicated.
Yeah.
It just takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You get better at it though,
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah.
I don't think I think it took me about 4 years before I made a track where I was like actually feeling like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. Like
Right.
for me, I just had to like make peace with being like, you know what, my music is just gonna be bad. Like I'm not gonna be able to get my ideas out in the way that I want them to. And that's just gonna be how it is and
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
next years.
Because you're
from
trying
now.
and it wasn't happening.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I'll have the idea and then you don't know how to do it because you're not like experienced
Right.
enough or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just takes time.
Yeah.
And like each song, I think you can get a little bit better at reaching that actual idea in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 years. It took me a long time.
Yeah, it takes
And
forever.
It takes a very, very long time,
Yeah.
dude.
This is
Yeah.
a long road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
You're
a
probably
long
like 14 though, so like maybe it takes you 2.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
helps having
If you
a
got
young
time.
brain, and if you got free time and
Yeah.
you're passionate.
Time and young
Ooh.
brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time and pre-done in the oven brain.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Dude.
If you're
Man,
pre,
if I could bottle that up.
yeah, if you're
Yeah.
pre-25, just
Oh.
crank.
yeah.
So I actually
Yeah.
I have some thoughts on that though that I want to talk to you guys about. So of course we all want to be those dudes who like started making beats at like 9 years old and whatever, and you're like you've
Right.
been doing
I
it
think
forever,
that's
you know?
overrated, but continue.
Word, yeah. Well, yeah, we'll talk
I
about
used to
it.
feel that way, but sorry.
Word,
Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah, no, it's good.
I like this.
So
I do like
I was
this
thinking
too.
about it a lot more, and I was talking to AT about it. We were saying like, it is a cool thing because when you're that young, it's becoming second nature, like this creative side of you who's making music, you know. But at the same time, it's like you're very susceptible to genres that are out there and like popular artists that you like. And we were saying like maybe at a certain point you're not even really finding yourself creatively because you're so young and you have like such little understanding of even just your own like life perspective that like
Sure.
if you're trying to push that into music, maybe you just become a Martin Garrix figure. Like his favorite person was Tiesto. He's literally just a rip off of him. And of
Right.
course he's like killing it. No hate to Martin.
Well, yeah,
but
because they have to have another Tiesto.
they have to have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I was one of those kids, I'd be like leading worship in a church right now.
Exactly, right? Like you don't even
Because I was like
Yeah.
a teeny kid playing drums and like
Yeah.
doing things like that.
yeah.
Um,
Like anything after the age
but I
of
definitely
like
had to leave that stuff.
anything after the age of like
Start making bangers.
23, 25, 20, whatever is like I feel like where you like really start to find yourself, you know? And like I think
Yeah,
30
no.
is like the sweet threshold because you're so just aware
good.
of yourself and like you've been on this planet for 30 goddamn
Music
years.
to
Like,
my ears.
you're just comfortable. I know, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So in my opinion,
30s are great.
yeah. In my opinion, that's the
I think
true
they
start.
are, yeah.
That's the start, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, I can get behind that. Yeah, I think there's a huge like push. Like people think you have to get into music super young because like you'll hear of like the child prodigies who are like awesome at piano at 4 years old and making crazy stuff, and it's like that's awesome. I don't want to take away from that, but also like you don't have to do that. Like,
It's really
I-
good if you're like a manager or a like label or somebody that wants to take advantage of a
right?
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
Totally.
You know, like that's where it's good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and that's the way it is in all sports. Like,
Totally.
get them at the youngest you can because you can make the most money off them
Right.
the longer you have them
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
and if you
they're-
can make them big
they're
right out
capital.
of the gate, then you can really crank out that dough.
Totally. Yeah.
Looking at you, Beebs.
Gross.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. And like,
If you want to come on the pod, dude, shout out.
yeah, let's get
JB.
deep, JB. Let's get deep,
Poor Beebs.
right?
Poor Beebs.
And like, what kind of artist would he have been if he started singing, or if he was always singing, but he didn't go public till he was 40 or 30 or something? You know, he went
Completely
public at like
different-
fucking 14, and
Oh,
he
he'd be
was,
making techno.
right.
He would have smartened
Probably.
up pretty
So-
He'd
quick.
been making techno trap.
That's actually that's interesting to think about because so now that I'm older, I'm much more into more like niche genres of music. And if I started doing what I'm doing now when I was like 12, I would have been making way more like approachable poppy music. But I think as I've
Yeah.
gotten older, I've gotten deeper into that like whatever rabbit hole. And so I wonder if that's why there are more prominent. Well, one of the reasons why there are more prominent like younger artists, just because they haven't
They're
gone
in the
down
mainstream?
they haven't gone down the rabbit holes of like weird
like that.
music.
Dude,
yeah.
I
They don't
guarantee
already
that's why.
have the depths.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like their first phase of understanding of not only themselves but like the music they like. And
Right.
like, yeah, that's a good point. Because like I remember, what kind of music did you listen to? Like let's say like
He's
14, 15.
20, by the way.
He's 20.
Mm-hmm.
Because mine was like Bass Hunter and Bon Iver.
When
and,
where?
like, I would have
When?
been making folk music.
When
Like
you
what
were
kind of
14?
music? Yeah, what kind of music were you
I
guys
was
listening
in
to
ska
when you were
bands.
14? You were into ska,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
would have
I
been
was
like
in ska
making
bands,
ska.
dude. I was playing
Yeah.
guitar.
Dave
and
would have
drums
been
in
making
ska bands.
worship. And
Yeah.
like,
I liked ska too,
Yeah.
and a bunch of terrible
Nice.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
still
was
like,
into awful things.
I still like. I was really into metal and like hip hop.
Oh, you were a metal
really.
guy, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I can
That's
believe
good.
it.
That holds up.
yeah.
When I was 14, I also wanted to start making music. It was Mystica by Blaster Jacks, which inspired me. It sounded very simple, but still very amazing. But I had no computer back then. I get you, dog.
I'm
Yeah.
on a computer.
That's
I get you,
hard.
dog.
Yeah, right.
That'll hold you back right there.
Yeah. Speaking of that Chi thing, so I don't know if you know Chi. He makes sick music.
He does.
Check him out if you haven't. But yeah, he did like a week-long kind of like seminar thing that Austin and I took. And he talked about how he started making music too. And he was around that same age, like a teenager in high school and stuff. And he didn't have a computer either. And so he would just save his lunch money and like not have lunch at work or at school. And then he would go to like the computer cafe and like use the computers there to learn how to make music. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like he was just like so determined to do that. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah, that
I
is
love that
dope.
you
Yeah,
remember
dope.
that. That's so
Yeah,
sick.
dude, it stuck out to me. I love when people are just like so driven to like they know what they want to do and they're like, I'm gonna do this thing.
Right.
It's awesome.
It's dope for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like born in Africa
South
too.
Africa.
So South Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember in that same thing where he was talking about his life, he was saying like there was only like 3 dudes that he ever knew of like in the area that were making
there
music.
wasn't the scene.
Yeah, there was like 0 scene, and he happened to like talk to that one dude who was like 10 years older than him, and he was like a mentor.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
help, like kind of guide him, and it's like, oh, that's so cool.
Right.
That's pretty
Super
dope.
cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was super cool hearing his story of like how he kind of like made it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I always like a nice success story like that.
I
He
just had
has a million
John.
streams now.
Yeah.
He sure does.
Yeah,
he's pretty
we have
big
John.
these days.
We have
Yeah.
a John who is like
I-
a fucking.
I literally met John as I started making electronic music. He was like, "Here, take a look at this," and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is aggressive."
Dude, right? Yeah, same. Yeah. I was only making.
John was
music
just like
for,
taking me to drum and bass shows and shit, and I was just like,
Dude.
"Oh, whoa, what is going on?" Now I'm
Sick.
just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I love that. I think my first like I kind of like met John on the Discord for Subs Up, and he mentioned that Mephuse's album Manifest came out. I think that was like he mentioned that, and I was like, this person knows who Mephuse is. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
like
"This is an actual guy."
Right.
Yeah, I was
Anybody
like,
who
he
knows
knows
Mephuses
stuff.
and knows how to say it,
Yeah,
right, yeah,
let alone knows who they are.
yeah. I said Meph just for a little
Nice,
while
yeah,
until
yeah, me too.
until I heard someone say it on like
Yeah.
an interview or something.
like-
Yeah.
I heard John. He was like, no, it's Mephuses. I was
It's like Suf
okay.
John, Sufjan
Yeah.
Stevens, Sufjan.
Yeah.
Um,
But I don't know. Yeah, it can be hard without a computer though, man. That's like I don't know. Back in the day, I feel like I don't know. So many people who are actually prominent now, the software they were using to make music on was like so rudimental, like back in like the early 2000s or something.
Totally.
Like 2002 or
Totally.
something.
Oh man.
I started
Like-
on Acid Pro.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
way when I was like in high school or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
messing around with acid loops on my computer,
Sick.
fucking around.
Yeah, I didn't. We had a program in the band in the band room in high school, and on the band computer, like those old gray Dells that were like slim and on their side.
Yeah.
You know, all the computer labs got like the update from Dell in like 2002 or 2003.
Yeah.
And you couldn't write like anything in like a piano roll or an arrangement view of any kind like that. It was like purely actual music sheets that you would like draw quarter notes and eighth notes and triplets and all that shit.
My
Yeah,
God.
and
Imagine
then
having to do that.
and you would compose stuff. So we would compose whole like marching band numbers on there. Have like the whole flute section. Like we'd have to transpose it. And all this stuff for the saxophones and transpose it again for the tubas. Yeah, it was like it's like,
Epic.
man, doing this as like one dude on a piano in the 1700s sounds like such a nightmare.
Yeah.
To like make
Dude.
symphony music and remember what everything does
Right.
at different keys
Fuck that.
because they're harmonizing and they're in different keys. So they might be just playing the same note
Right.
and it's a third. It's so weird. Anyways, that's like the closest I got before I saw Ableton and immediately ran away in fear for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what any of those knobs do.
Right.
Bye.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to
Yeah.
learn all that.
Yeah.
You just made me think of something really random. If a classical composer from back in the day, if Beethoven was around now, do you think that he would be like a sound design freak? Because
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, 100%. Yeah. I bet you they'd be making like rhythm and trap and house music. They'd be
Yeah.
they'd be going for it. Yeah.
I think
Beethoven.
I think a lot of them would end up being sound design people because like back in the day, like the people who really wanted to tinker with music, I think that was really the main area that you could do it with. Like
Yeah, that was like
you
the
could
only
play
area.
around with notes because you had to build the physical instruments. You didn't have computers to make
Yeah,
crazy
no,
sounds
for sure.
yet.
For sure.
And
That's a good
so
point.
if your brain is just like, what are the weird things I can experiment with? And then you see a computer with like all this crazy sound design it can do. I feel like a lot of them would have ended up making like IDM and stuff like that.
That or techno. Because I feel like techno is so prestigious.
Yeah.
And highfalutin
Yeah.
that they're just like, no, yes, of course.
Oh, of course.
They might be doing like soundtracks or something. Man, it's
Yeah.
so hard to say.
It's so hard to say,
Or they're
right?
Hans.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just Hans
Right,
Zimmer
that's
in
what
it.
True.
I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Wish
Doing
they could have been.
scores.
That's
for
exactly
sure.
what they were.
Yeah, that's
kinda.
what they were.
Right.
Effectively, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
guess.
maybe they would just be Dre.
Just
Can you imagine?
I
You know?
love that.
basically.
Mozart.
Dre
just
would have been
Dre.
Beethoven if he was like way back in the day.
That is such a fun thing to think about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
white.
And yeah,
Yeah.
not a slave.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. That made me think about I don't remember what podcast or what
It's a
the fuck
long
it
time
was,
ago.
but
It's a long time ago.
long time ago, yeah. I think it was Jaws, I wanted to say, who was talking about how what if Dead Mouse's what's his ghost song? What's
Ghosts
his
and stuff?
Ghosts and Stuff, yeah. His like very, very popular song. He was saying like what if it came out now in like 2020, 2021? Do you think it would have as much of an
It
impact?
would burn to the ground.
No.
It would get
Yeah.
probably zero traction.
It would
you
have.
know?
I think some people would like it, but it wouldn't be
For sure.
nearly as.
People would be like,
Big.
oh, it's got like a retro vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
It'd get like 1 million plays, 2 mil, you know, it'd get like a
it
thing.
well, it
but,
depends if he's just like a nobody and he releases that song, nothing's happening.
Nothing
yeah, yeah.
happens.
If
right?
if he's
Well,
got the cloud he has right now, sure, yeah, it would get like
Yeah.
generic Dead Mouse plays.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a big bubble when that, man, that was
Yeah.
like
He
the
hit a
very
little
beginning
mini
of the bubble.
jackpot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, I mean, you
And-
listen to like
I mean, not a mini jackpot.
yeah.
A lot of
But
money.
really,
Yeah.
Oh, a
Huge
lot
jackpot.
of money. We're talking to you, Dead Mouse.
looking at
He's coming on.
Dead
He's
Mouse,
coming
he's
on in a
next
few.
week.
Some-
Yeah.
so it's in the books.
Yeah,
Joel.
he'll be here.
I'll buy you coffee, Joel. It's
Yeah.
fine.
We'll race some drones. It'll be cool.
We'll fly your plane over here.
yeah.
But yeah, you listen to a lot of the music that like blew up back then. You're
Mm.
like, this is
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Really
technical quality
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
music has
yeah.
increased a ton.
it's
in the last 10 years.
Wild.
It was crazy to me, like 4 years in or whatever of making music, when I surpassed like some of the songs that inspired me to like make electronic music, and I was like, "Whoa, this sounds bad now." I was like,
Right.
"Holy shit, I'm better. I'm catching up." Ha ha.
Yeah. But everyone else is catching up
Right.
too.
Well,
so
yeah, it's a
like-
constant race. That's why you
Yeah.
keep in your head
I mean-
somebody's always outworking you.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
just-
Some people are catching up.
Yeah. Right. Some people are just trying.
There's
to
only so many people working their
chase
butt
the
off.
past.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think persistence is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
With,
Yes.
with music, and
Yeah.
I think any creative
Yes.
I
thing
agree.
is like if you can just keep doing it and keep enjoying it,
Consistency and
then
persistence.
like because eventually you're going to need some level of luck to kind of like break through. But I think it's just a matter of like doing it over and over and over and gradually getting better until you get that lucky break. And
I agree.
yeah,
Right. And the lucky,
And then you're ready.
yeah, the lucky,
Right.
yeah. Luck
Ready
is
to
just
present yourself,
preparation,
at least. Yeah.
preparation and opportunity landing
Right.
at the
Yes.
same time.
Mm.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love
Which
that
is
so
the
much.
best. It's like the best quote
Yeah.
That's the
ever.
best way to think
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Because like
totally.
they're like, oh, but you could get lucky. You're like, yeah, but luck means shit if you're not ready.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so
totally.
you just always stay ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just keep going so that
Right.
you're good to go. Oh, we have another
Yeah, Caleb, would you mind reading Div's question for Voyager?
it's
specific.
directed to you.
Hey.
How were those 4 years for you?
Do a
Voyager.
reading.
Was it like an on-off thing, or were you just reading books, experimenting every day?
Yeah. It was a bit of both. So a lot of what I did. So I started I started like producing electronic stuff when I was a senior in college. And so so I had a bit more time in college, and so I was pretty consistent with it then, where I would spend like a few hours most days of the week just kind of like learning stuff, tinkering around, and just trying to gradually get better. And then but then over the course of the next 4 years, there were definitely gaps of time where I would go like a couple months without even like touching my DAW or like learning anything really about music. But then there were other spans of time where I would be like very intensely like every single day spending like at least a couple hours, and I would have spans of time where I'm doing that for like 5 months straight or something. And I honestly wouldn't recommend doing it that way. I definitely burnt myself out a few times because I was working full time. I had like a 2-hour commute each way to work, and at one point I was actually bringing my laptop on. I used to take the train into the city to my job. And so it was like a 45-minute train ride. And so I was like, okay, that's 45 minutes. I can like play around with some synths and stuff. And so
Hell yeah. I would have done the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for a while I would just bring my laptop and just like play around with ideas and try to learn stuff on the train while going to and from work. And I tried a bunch of different stuff. Like there was one point yeah, there was one point where I actually had this is partially motivated by like hating my day job also. And I was seeing music as like a form of escaping that, which I wouldn't recommend looking at music that way. For me, it's hard to stay creative and enjoy the process when it's like your saving grace, you know?
Right.
But I had like a spreadsheet where every single day I would track like the amount of time that I'm spending in my DAW or like watching tutorials or something. And I would like try and hit like a certain amount of hours each week to like get better. And I would like to really push myself to learn.
Yeah.
And I did learn a lot in that experience, but I think it could have been less like self-abusive.
Self-deprecating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. I like
like it
that
too.
stage.
Yeah.
That stage where you're just like 5 hours a day deep trying. You're trying to figure that shit out. You're just sitting there like,
You're just fucking around.
Yeah.
like,
And in the
okay,
beginning,
let me
it's so
restart
important.
and remix this whole song again
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
6th time. You know, like you need those. You need those to understand, like, even just like the most crude
Yeah.
form of things.
Yeah.
You still need that like grind.
Because it's
Yeah.
about the repetition that
Mhm.
helps you get better.
Yeah, you have to like build that muscle.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it lasts. Like, you're not going to be able to just keep doing that forever. Or maybe
No.
you
No.
will.
I
Who
mean-
knows? Some people do, but
Some people,
Yeah.
sure, maybe. Yeah.
I
mean-
have the spare time, I think so, but
Maybe,
it's,
yeah.
it's rare to have the spare time for extended periods of time.
And it
I think.
depends
Right.
on the full-time job. Like if you're
Yeah. Right.
also working 8 hours a day, good luck.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So hard.
But
to
even
find the energy,
but even without
Yeah.
working 8 hours a day, it's
Man.
still hard.
still hard.
It is, yeah.
Man, that's something I'm actually curious. I think I'm having the most trouble with that now. I think out of anything is just finding the energy right now to keep working on music on top of my day job, because we just recently went back to the office and it's like I'm not handling it well.
Right.
Oh, I'm
right.
And,
sure. Yeah.
And because I just got so used to like working from home and like having my own routine, and it was so nice, and then like just adjusting back is difficult. And so like I don't know, how do you guys have any tricks for like making sure you have energy to some extent to work on music after all that?
Now I'm not saying I follow this 100%, but the best advice I can give you is discipline is freedom.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's the
Something we
that's the only
always
thing,
talk
but it's
about.
the hardest
Yeah.
thing on the planet Earth.
yeah.
It's the hardest thing. Just being like, no, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just doing it and just not letting your inner bitch be like, but the
Your
couch,
inner bitch.
the couch,
Yeah.
but TikTok.
Also, just like,
just
but
like,
any also interesting, like
Yeah.
good quality thing to do.
right.
Sometimes you're gonna just like, nah, I'm gonna make a beat.
Yeah.
Mm.
I could go and hang out with these friends of mine, or I could like, whatever.
Watch another episode of your anime or
That's
play
not-
another game.
In my head, that's not even an option. A game, yeah. There,
Game,
yeah.
there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Game.
That's more
Come on,
relevant.
man.
For you
Get on
guys,
the
yeah.
anime.
I know people like watching shows. No hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shows, video games.
But yeah, sometimes you
media.
just have to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm
Nope.
just gonna work on a tune, and then you just try and make just a good drum beat,
And chances are,
and you could call it a day after the drum
right.
beat.
Mm.
But chances are, 20 minutes in, you're invested.
At some point, you'll
Sometimes
find the
that
little
happens,
groove.
yeah.
You know, like that
Yeah.
happens to me a good amount of times.
Yeah.
Where like once I finally give in and do start doing something, now I'm like, what happens if I use this kind of distortion on this? Let me monitor this, and I end up
It
just
does
doing
pull you in.
experiments. Yeah.
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 I've definitely had some late nights where I don't get much sleep because I'll be like, oh, I just need to like touch up this this drum loop, and I'm just gonna do that for 20 minutes, and then I'm like, oh wait, I got an idea for this like fill over here, and then like, oh, I
Yeah.
got an idea for this next
I
section.
mean, to me, that's just
And-
working on music.
yeah, it
That's
just turns into that.
It's just
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
back and forth,
and
forth
it's
all
like
over the place.
I know it's getting late, but I'm also like, God, I got these ideas now. I
Yeah,
want to like get
right?
it out
Yeah.
while I have
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
You know, and
Sometimes you just got to do
Which
it.
I've gotten better at, or my body has, at getting at knocking me out. Like it'll be 10:30, and I'll be
Yeah.
running with a full head of steam. Like, oh yeah, this is all good.
And then it's like in 10:30.
And then,
so like,
yeah.
all right.
Everything
guys.
stops, and the motivation goes away. The focus goes away. I'm like, wow, okay, well,
Yeah.
there's no point. I'm just gonna be making mistakes at
Yeah.
this point. So
Right.
I'm just gonna get back to it at 7. And then usually I have like a great 3 hours of production in headphones in the morning,
nice.
which is pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
But it's different vibe than at night.
It
I
is.
like the vibe at night, but it's so hard
do
for me to
too.
stay awake.
I like the
Yeah.
midday vibe.
Yes,
You know,
the
like
midday
that's-
They all
vibe
have
is
their
sick.
own energy, which is cool to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
do like them all. I like any
They're
of
all
them
good.
if I'm feeling it.
Yeah, right.
100%.
If I can
Yeah.
get in the zone, I love them.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Otherwise, I'm having a rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Div's grinding out here. He's
Oh wait, before
Engineering-
before
Oh,
we say that,
yeah.
I want to say one thing.
Sure.
Something that has really been helpful for me is having some sort of other hobby or passion that helps you just think about
Sure.
anything except for music.
I totally
So,
agree
like,
with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like Caleb, you've been working out a shit ton, which is
Yeah.
sick. You've been like physically building yourself, and you're getting away from that.
the
and, like,
second
working
Looking
on
good,
that's
yourself.
been
man.
brought up on the podcast.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I have to. I
Very
have
weird.
to.
Very weird.
For me, I really like making like visual art. It just gets
Yeah.
me out of that headspace, but I still get to be creative and like explore like
Yeah.
that creative realm, which is really cool. And like, I think it's important to or at least for me, to have
Totally.
like that one other thing that like either physically is building you
Yeah.
or mentally is building you or creatively is building you in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when it's like looking right at the same screen again. That's why I have a problem like doing
Right.
visual art, because it's like I'm in the exact same spot.
Same
Like
environment.
it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm working a different muscle in my head, but my eyes are screaming at me
right.
because I've been staring at the TV for the last
Yeah.
7 years,
Yeah.
for like 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean longer. I've been playing computer video games since I was like
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Seriously.
I will find myself like high at like 11, and I'm like, I could be in bed at any moment, and I could also
catch a vibe.
maybe
at any moment.
catch a vibe.
Mm.
So I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, let me just find out. It's fucking almost midnight. Let me just see.
Let me just
And then you're like, oh, I made a fucking dope thing last night
Right.
for no reason.
Right?
Mm.
Sick. You're just high as balls, just like,
I can't
what if
do that.
I
did
can't
this
make
night?
I'm pretty much always sober when I'm working on music. I can't work
I
on
love
it
it.
under the influence of anything.
Really?
Like I just think of like I just make I'll listen to like a saw wave and put a low pass filter and
And
just
be
like
like, "This
be like,
is
oh,
the
that sounds
best."
so cool, man.
Yeah.
And like
I mean, it
I
does.
never
It
get
does.
past that.
It does though.
It does.
Yeah,
though,
You got to
yeah.
remember, when you go to a show, 90% of people are inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you're
just put
playing
saw
your music
waves
for clowns.
and then filter sweeps, and you're good.
That's what it
Yeah,
needs,
I
bro.
guess so. Maybe that's
The,
the
the
key.
people love it.
Yeah.
So Div
Yeah. What
says,
did Homeboy say?
I think that's,
And we don't have to
I'm-
read every single thing.
I'm also a chemical engineering sophomore right now. It's the main
Oh.
thing right now. And I really just started on 16th of July,
Oh shit. So
like making music.
2 weeks ago or something.
Like you just started.
Man.
Reading
You
dance
just
music
started.
manual, half chapter, and mastering Reaper DAW.
Oh, you're using
Tutorial every
Reaper.
DAW. The nights are the best. I feel fresh in afternoons. I don't know why.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Little baby.
So,
over
I think-
here.
so
Little
he's
baby, let's
he's
go,
grinding.
dude.
He's
Yeah.
grinding.
Yeah,
You're
dude.
grinding.
Keep it
cool.
I
up.
love it.
Just
Yeah.
keep doing it.
Yeah. I think like
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in the early days, I think if I was gonna give any advice, I would say just make sure you're like having fun. Just keep having fun.
I agree with
Like
that.
Right.
it's gonna take a long time to make something that is like fucking sick.
Yeah.
I
for
mean,
sure.
in general, but to you, you'll make something sick tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you'll like get like I don't know, you'll notice little milestones. Like I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
Mhm.
like the first time I understood sidechain compression, and I
that's the
got
big
that
one.
like Daft Punk pumping sound with
Right.
like a house song.
Right.
I was like, this is so awesome.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
know.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like little victories like that come
Nice.
along too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting though, man.
Plateaus.
Yo, so Div, is that Div?
Yeah.
Fucking follow us, homie, because we're kind of new on
I think
our
he does.
Twitch journey. Oh yeah, if you are already, fucking kick it with us. Ask us questions on your way, because like we're happy to answer
Yeah.
and give you whatever wisdom we have. Especially if like you're that new, it's gonna be really fun. Definitely kick it with us. We'll have a
you'll-
lot of fun.
You'll catch lots of little nuggy nugs.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, folks,
It's about that time.
it is about that time.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you want to go ahead and shout
We
yourself
cooked on
out
through it.
on social media, real quick, Mr.
Yeah.
Voyager. Instagram is
Instagram is Voyager_music. SoundCloud is Voyage-R. Because
Sick.
I don't want to make it simple for all of you.
funny.
And I think my Facebook is actually different too. I never post anything on Facebook. I just whatever I post on Instagram goes on Facebook
Right.
automatically. I think Facebook is Voyager Noises.
Nice. I
Oh,
like that
thank you, man. Yeah, I'm on Spotify too. There's like a million other Voyagers, but you can find me. I got some unique song titles. Search for Swamp Crust or Quantum Flux.
Quantum what?
Swamp
Flux,
crust. Yeah.
FUX,
Okay.
like flux without the L.
Okay. Fucks. Okay.
That name was born from a typo, and I was like, that's actually kind of sick. I want to keep it.
Yeah.
Nice,
Cool.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I think.
Fuck yeah.
Latest release is Immersion.
Oh, yeah. I collaborated on a track with some guy. I think that might be what he's talking about. He released an EP, and I worked on it a bit. One of the songs with him. So Solania, I think is his name.
Oh yeah. Also,
But-
I saw a thing on your Instagram. Sorry, I'm totally butchering it as we're speaking. I saw a thing where you're like working with someone, or a label or something.
I've been releasing stuff with Renda Mag. Not releasing
Yeah.
music, but so Renda Mag.
Yeah.
Actually, as a new person, it'd be cool to look out for these kinds of things. So Renda Mag, they're a really cool like niche bass music focused experimental type of. They actually make a physical magazine. I have one. It's actually really cool.
Oh, are they like little zines? Like
no,
the
it's
tiny
like a
guys, or
full size
they-
magazine.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Sick.
Yeah, and so they do like bi-monthly beat contests where some artist will basically make a bunch of stems, and then you use those, and sometimes they have rules you have to follow, and you make like however like a minute or 3 minutes, like a full song if you want, but you turn that into a song, and then you submit it, and they take their favorite ones, and they make a
wanna do
mix
this.
out of it.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, so I've got actually 3 unreleased. 2 of those songs, 2 of the beats that I have released in their mixes, I finished into full songs, and those are 2 things I'm sitting on right now.
Oh, nice.
But actually, I got 3 in there, but 1 I'm not sure if I want to release, maybe. But
Fair.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Hell yeah.
You're up to some
Shout out.
some beautiful things, and I'm so happy to see where you go.
Thanks, man. Likewise.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our whole crew is like,
Yeah.
it's so
And
exciting.
you can find us respectively on Instagram at 400 Jans and Riv, 400 CTYA,
Oh, yeah. It's
and
true.
400 underscore as an Adele.
Let's go.
Underscore.
Yeah, I didn't like the not space between it. It seemed
He's
cramped,
not a
but-
gamer, so he doesn't understand.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly,
It's fine. We love you.
yeah.
We love you. And as soon as you get a
That's awesome.
computer, that'll probably change.
Yeah.
It'll
Or
happen
just
here soon. Yeah.
Always 400 official on.
You can also
Everything.
go to always 400.com.
Always 400.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a website.
And,
Hey, we're a professional show, ladies and gentlemen.
We are so professional. Look at us.
We'll check you guys out later.
We have a green screen.
Hey. Bye, everyone.
We love you guys.
Goodbye, everyone.